As long as the Anishinaabe have been on Turtle Island, we have counted on the land to provide for us, whether it was meat for our tables, plants for our medicines, fish for our diets. Our people have a special relationship, a kinship with Mother Earth, a relationship that comes with great responsibilities. Knowledge Keeper Louie Malcolm and his partner Bernice were gracious enough to invite us to their home to let us document the making of maple syrup. Louie's mom passed on the tradition to her family, and Louie and his sister are in return passing it on to their families, as well as others, in order to ensure the practice is not lost and remains a tradition in the Malcolm household for generations to come.
If possible, you try and put it on the south side where the sun will shine in the morning, because sometimes at night when it freezes, the taps will freeze. These here things, there'll be icicles on these things. So when you put it in here with the sun shining, it'll start running right away as soon as it warms up. So what you do is you just go like that. So you gotta go about that far. Make sure that you have enough in there. So that one's a wet a little bit, so it'll probably run later on. So what you do is you put this thing in here, and then you give it a little tap, like that. And then these here, we put these here, strings on here, so you put it like that, and then you hang it like that. See, if you don't put that little extra in there, and then it's too short, see like that? That'd be too short like that. So what I do is I put this 5/16 extension on there, so it goes right into the jug, so you don't waste nothing. Because if you just use this and it's too far down, the wind will pick it up and take it out of place, and they're running for nothing. So that's why I put these. This is cheap anyway. This piece here, you get it from Home Hardware, wherever. You just cut it about that size and then put it in there. So that's how we do ours. So that's if you want to tap that one. If there's another one here somewhere.
One of the first observations I made was the use of new technology, drills, taps made out of plastic with on and off features, along with modern containers. Well, that one's dripping. We don't have a pail.
You see, then you put that in there, and then that was dripping.
Yeah, it's dripping. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, we should go get that pail. Anishnikade ka, Anishinabe mun lui. Yaga shit chiging.
Ski sige. That one there, when you tap trees, it's ushige.
Mandoshige.
Yeah, meaning that you're going out to tap trees.
Okay.
And this here is Sisibakudobo. That thing that's coming out, that's Sisibakudobo. That's the sap.
Oh, it's sweet already now.
Oh yeah, it's sweet, yeah.
Wow, this one is running pretty good.
What's that with das gemagush?
Yeah.
See, normally when they're running, when they're producing, that's how they should run.
When I was a child, we used a tap made out of well-designed wood chip and a tap made with a precise upward swing of an axe.
And I mean,
Containers to collect the sap were metal cans that were boiled to be cleansed prior to their use.
look at the shot there, see? Like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Like that, see? And then they're much easier to take off. See, when you're going to take them off, you just bring it up like that. Like that, see? Show the opposite. You put that in between,
Okay.
like that. So that's how it's done.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, all they had was those
Chips?
those tomato cans,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Those red tomato
Yeah.
cans,
Yeah.
those little cans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, and then they make a base here. You know, they make a little base here, and then tap it here, and then set that. And then you had to collect that maybe 2 or 3 times a day,
Mm-hmm.
because they only a pint each.
Uh-huh.
You know, so it was a lot of work back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's much easier. And I'll show you those other ones that we tap with the pails. The ones that I use pails over there.
Mm-hmm.
We got 38 and pails on the next set over there. We put these on the south side, see, and then the sun will, because sometimes when they're dripping, and then you'll build an icicle here, and then that icicle has to melt before they start dripping. So that's why you try and put it all the time on the south side, towards the sun. So they start dripping as soon as possible. And when you collect about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, some of these pails are up to here when they're producing. Especially the big trees, eh? The small trees, they produce good too, but I like tapping the big trees. We know what they do along the mountains there. They have long hoses, like a hose.
Yeah.
They just have one area where it collects.
Yeah. That's what they do in Quebec.
Yeah,
They got all the trees connected to
yeah, one central.
one central. Everything drains.
Yeah. But here you can't do that because it's all flat, eh?
Yeah.
So that's a little different here. That's why we've done it the traditional way. Because you have to teach the younger generation how to do it the traditional way. That's why we got the kids to come in from the school and spend a day with us when we're boiling.
Hey, Dish, do you boil just once, or could you boil 2, 3 times?
So once you start, you got to finish.
You got a batch over there and you're boiling that. Are you going to be able to collect more and boil another batch?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
every day.
Every day?
Yeah, a new patch every day. You see, what we're boiling today, we'll finish tonight.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, what we collect tonight, we'll boil tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we'll finish that tomorrow. If we don't have enough, and then we keep it for one night and then boil it the second day.
How many days can you boil, do you think? How many, 4 or 5 days? 4 or 5 different days?
Well, it depends again on the weather.
Okay.
Sometimes you boil for maybe about a week
Okay.
or more maybe.
Yeah.
It depends on the weather.
Okay.
See, at the island over there, they usually they're usually out there for maybe 10 days. But it seems like at the island, they run longer.
Huh.
They set earlier and they last longer. They run longer.
Wonder why?
I don't know why, but
Are they bigger trees?
oh yeah,
That's probably why, eh?
most of them are like that,
Yeah.
if not bigger.
I remember at Dock Creek Lake, man, when we used to tap, it used to be big trees like this.
Yeah,
That's
that's about the size we have over there.
That's what we used to tap.
Even some of them we put two pails,
Yeah.
one here and then one over there. So we get maybe 1.5 gallons from each tree. Wow, that's good. Don't worry, just now, see?
you do that too?
If you haven't participated in the making of maple syrup, the first thing you will notice is the amount of sap you need to render to make the finished product. As a kid, I used to think we were going to have maple sugar and maple syrup to last us a lifetime, and wondered where all the sap went that we spent days collecting.
There's a lot of them in this one. And fill it up, and then that pail will be empty, and we'll start it again.
Boy. How much?
A little bit more, and then put some in here. Okay, and just put the rest in this one here. There.
Okay, now take that pail over, Bertie, so put some in there. See, that's why these things are like that. So you can move them around with the fire.
Oh yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing that Mama always wanted was these to be peeled. So there's no bark in there. What happens is when that dries up, look here. So I didn't do that one, see? And then bark will fall off onto the sap there while you're boiling, you see that?
Yeah.
So that's why you're going to peel all that off before you put it up there.
But does it matter which way this hook goes, Louie?
Yeah. See, the more pills you use, the faster it boils down, eh? And then as they boil down, you put them into that main one there. And that's the
Oh.
final product. You just keep boiling. You leave that
Okay.
one there all the time.
So that's your main pot?
Yeah, that's the main pot. And then you keep boiling, and then you keep adding on the side.
Ah,
And then once these boil down, then you just keep adding.
okay.
So at the end of the day, that will come down to maybe a gallon or so.
Uh-huh. And that's what you end up with?
Yeah, and then what you do is, when they're just about done, you take this like that, over there, and then you taste it. See if it's ready. It's too soft there, eh? The other thing that you gotta do, you gotta remember. See that one there? The one that you had put over here? That's just, you just put it there to start boiling.
Yeah.
So you don't put that one into there. You put the ones that's been boiling
For a while.
for a while already.
Okay. So remember I added to this one, right?
So as they go down, and then you put some more in there or else in there, depending on instruction. Sometimes we just put it here, add, say that one we can add into these here, eh?
Uh-huh.
And let that boil down some more. And then we put 2 new pails in there. So that way it's much faster.
Yeah.
But you gotta, the key is to remember which ones to put into that main one.
So right now these two are
Yeah,
first,
these
right?
two here,
This
yeah.
one and then that's last.
Yeah.
Do you taste them all, Louie? Or am I just by memory?
You gotta taste.
You gotta taste them?
Yeah, that'll be around 4 o'clock or so.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Mine 11 o'clock. It's some nights when they're boiling hard.
It's not.
Yeah, we have to have a light here and a radio.
Yeah. In a radio.
Yeah, and a radio. Yeah,
Or a guitar and someone that can use it.
yeah. See, one day we had 90 gallons.
Holy
I started
man.
7 o'clock in the morning till 11, and we weren't finished yet. So when the kids came out the next day from the school, I finished it off to show them how it's finished off. I gave them a taste. Each one of them tasted that,
Uh-huh.
the finished product, and then I took them out there for the where we tapped the trees to show them where we were tapping and how that sap tastes. They were drinking it,
Yeah.
and you know, it's kind of sweet, eh?
Yeah.
Boy, some of them said, boy, sweet, nice and sweet.
I remember I was smelling that as it was being put in a pill because I remember that smell.
You see that one there? That one there is Sisibakutobo. That's the
Maple sugar water.
that's the
Sap water?
Pseudo language for the sap. Sisibakutobo. And when you're boiling it into syrup, that's what would you call that now?
Sizabakut is sugar na.
Yeah, Sizbakut is the Pikutiganese is the sugar cups.
Oh, okay. You got east one.
Yeah, Pikutiganese.
Pikutigonasan.
Yeah, that's the sugar cups. This year, when it's finished, the syrup, Shioga Michigan.
Shioga, Michigan.
Yeah, see there's three names to it.
Three different things na.
Sizbakut is the sap. Shioga Michigan is the syrup. Pikutiganese is that sugar cups.
As the rendering of the sap occurs throughout the day, there is ample opportunity to share stories, to exchange dialogue, to listen, and to satisfy curious minds. Louie's knowledge of Treaty 2, Manitoba House where Treaty 2 was signed, and the local history is fascinating. Hey, how many families did maple syrup among that? How many families in Evansville?
At that time, there was about 4 or 5 different families.
4 or 5 different families.
Yeah, there was the Flets, there was Tex, and there was, of course, Mom and them, the Malcolms. There was them families there. Shilani, the old man there, he still got one of those. They put those little sheds. They made those little sheds where they could put their little cans at the time, because all they had was those little tomato cans.
Yeah.
Oh, they had to collect there quite often during the day, put it into a pail.
Yeah.
Because they would fill up.
Yeah.
Now we got these big cans though, eh?
We used to have quarts, little quarts.
Yeah.
My mom and dad would, sometimes it'd be oil cans or
Yeah.
antifreeze cans, but they would boil them, boil them to get all the stuff out of it, clean them, and then that's what we would use. I remember they used to use, it was white. Was it Rogers maple syrup? When you bought
Yep.
it at the store?
Yeah.
You know, it used to come in a gallon. We would have those cans. So our job as kids was, as I said, to go gather, go gather all the stuff. Do you need rind?
Yeah, throw it in there.
Basic na.
Yeah, just one. See what happens. See that? It goes down right away.
Yeah. I'm learning, Bernie.
See, that's where when the treaty was signed, the Flett family, their dad, Jim Flett, that was my dad's uncles and that. They were here when the treaty was made, so they became treaty. They came from the States, but when the treaty was made, they were here, and they became treaty. And there was a few of the kids with the Jim Flett family. There was Mrs. Davis. There was Julia. That was Joe Arno's mom. And then there was Eva. And then my grandma Catherine. There were sisters. And then there was the brothers, Walter, Roderick, and Charlie. And they were raised just over here. We'll go to that area. That's where we're going, up in that area.
Okay.
That's where they settled after the treaty. And when the reserve became treaty, the Indian Act came in. They were restricted from moving around. So Jim Flett, he was on council in 1874. He was on council. So he didn't want to be restricted through the Indian Act from moving around, making his own living and that.
Yeah.
So he sold his scrip, his treaty rights, for $10. The whole family. And then after that, they moved to Bacon Ridge, or not Bacon Ridge, Kumo School up in that area, Kumo at the front there. That's where they moved to. And that's where they raised their families. And that's where my granny was. My granny was treated because she married John Malcolm. That's how she became treaty. Now, Mrs. Davis and Julia and them married non-status Indians, so they remain Métis.
Métis.
So it's I got the family tree here somewhere.
Oh,
So it's all there, like.
Yeah.
And then you see the chief here, Francois, Okonijis, broken fingers. He was my great grandfather. That was my dad's great grandfather. And when he signed the treaty here, so that's I got that all of that
All that
family
history.
tree, the history of it. I got all
Boy,
the,
what does Kinnesota mean?
well, you see, I explained that the other day. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I guess you know that one.
See, back in Hudson Bay days,
Mhm.
here, when Hudson Bay was here, where Manitoba House is today, that was the first post office in this area.
Yeah.
It was known as Kennesaw 2.
Kinnesota.
Kennesaw 2. Now it's Kennesaw with an A,
Uh-huh.
not an O. And I heard old Angus Campbell. He was fluent in Soto. And he was telling us at one time that what that meant back in the day was kinushka, like tall grass.
Oh.
Because there's a lot
Yeah,
of tall grass up in that area. Kinushka.
Okay.
But the way they wrote it was Kenesuto.
Uh-huh.
Whether that was, I don't know, maybe half baked or
Uh-huh.
whatever.
Yeah.
But the way it's spelled today is Kennesut. So that's why I just put it on Facebook that the other day.
You good now?
The history of Manitoba House.
Huh.
You get to taste it a little bit.
You good now?
It's got to go down maybe about half yet. Boil down to half yet. But when they have that teepee, the only thing wrong with the teepee, or the only thing I don't like about a teepee, using a teepee, it gets hot in there.
Yeah, I could imagine. It's hot here.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Just about done. Yeah, just about done, eh? See when it's... The other thing that they used to do was they used to put that in there, put a little bit of ash, and then roll it like that, and if it rolled, and then it's done. If that syrup in the ash roll, like, then it's done. But it also does that even with light syrup. It'll roll even with light syrup, but I like the taste of it. I mean, I like to taste it to make sure that it's done right.
Beautiful. I think that's the third time I've tasted it, and then you can tell it's sweeter and sweeter
Yeah,
and
it gets
sweeter.
better and better every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, getting better and better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can even feel it. It's different.
Yeah, it gets thicker and stickier.
Yeah, it's getting thicker. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
just about done.
Yeah.
Okay, this will be when we're done with that one here. It will be just as dark, and this one is just as thick. And that's the way the old people used to make it. So it's really nice and firm. It's what they call, thick syrup. And that's the way it tastes better, and it preserves better. So that's why it's a little darker. If we're to, maybe at this point in time with that, if we're to strain it and keep it, it might turn a little lighter. So that's why I always say, when it's ready, that's when we'll strain it and put it away, preserve it. But this is how it should look like at the end, when it's all done, when it's all said and done. So probably by tomorrow, when we strain that and put it away, it will look like this.
That way.
Oh man, you could smell that.
Lift it up a bit. Lift it up. Now that'll all go down.
So this is the first strain.
Yep.
You'll take it inside, let it cool
Yep,
off.
we'll take it in and let it cool,
Cool
off and pour it into a clear glass
Yeah.
container tomorrow, and it'll settle some more, and then we'll strain it again, and that until there's no impurities left.
You said 4:30. 4:58.
Pretty close.
Damn close.
When do we start boiling?
Well, we got here probably just at 10.
We got-
so,
I think around 10 o'clock you guys
Yeah.
got here.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were just putting the first pails on when they got
Yeah.
here.
yeah. The pails were already on. They
Yeah,
were
but-
just.
Yeah, but they hadn't
We were
started
just
boiling.
starting.
We
Yeah,
were just getting
yeah.
going.
I mean, they weren't boiling when we got
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So 10 o'clock.
Okay, now hang on to that. Make sure it doesn't drop. Okay. Yeah, it's still going down.
You got smell-o-vision on that thing?
Oh yeah. Perfect. Look,
Oh yeah, just sticky.
yeah, perfect.
I could drink this now.
Okay, now pour that into that jug.
I'll give you another one.
Ooh.
Little bit
Yeah,
more
that's
than
what I thought. A little
gallon.
better than a gallon.
Yeah?
See, that's 27 gallons of sap.
Yeah.
And that's a little better than a gallon of syrup. That would make probably about around 40, 45 of those
Little. Really?
cupcakes,
Yeah, huh?
sugar cups.
Are you going to make any?
Not right away. Okay, so that's what you got out of 27 gallons.
Is this good too?
Yeah, you can pour that into
Yeah,
the
it's
jar.
okay there.
That's too much ash?
Yeah.
Yeah, we put it in a smaller container so it'll settle.
Okay, but that settled separately.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never smelled anything like that.
Now when you're done with these here, you gotta wash them right away, or else they kind of
Stay
get
sticky
sticky.
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, they're hard to clean after if you don't wash them right away.
Everything stays a sticky mess for a few days.
Really?
What's the most you ever gathered locally in a year from where we were here?
About 4 gallons, eh?
Well, sap we get 2 barrels or so.
Yeah, for 4 or 6 gallons.
Okay, that's a lot.
As I say, it depends on the year.
Yeah.
Those pails that we seen over there, those big
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
some of them were just about full
Oh man.
in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
And at that time, we only had about 65 tapped.
That's it?
Yeah. But they were running good that year, eh?
Yeah.
Now we got 100 tapped. It
What?
do-
But those trees, they got to be running good, right? I mean, they'll run good again, won't they?
Hard to say.
Yes, that's right.
They'll run good one year, other years they won't. Last
Okay.
year they only ran for 2 days.
That was it.
That was it. So we didn't even boil, eh?
We didn't even tap any last year.
Yeah, we
tapped a
tried
couple
and-
just to test, and that was.
We
that
got
was it.
about 5 gallons of sap. It wasn't worth it, so we gave it to Rosie.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, just gave it to Rosie. They finished it off.
Yeah.
Like the sap itself.
Yeah.
We never even tried to boil it.
Okay.
Not enough.
Wow. Well, I think that concludes our day here over at Louie's and Bernice's, and the end result of boiling sap for since 10 o'clock this morning. It's now 5 o'clock. I'd like to say Kachimigwech to Louie and Bernice for inviting us and letting us document this.
Okay.
Kachimigwech,
Okay, you're welcome.
Bernice,
Thanks.
Miigwech, Kachimigwech.
You're welcome.
And